Hey, it's Mopar Keith. I know a thing or two about buying parts. Let's get you ready for the next swap meet. All right, so one of the first things you probably should do before you even think about going to the swap meet is have your list. So don't just put it to memory, actually start to write it down, and then also maybe categorize it as to what, how important the part is that you can find. So is it going to be a swap meet item only, or can you find it on eBay? Also, how big is the item? Can you buy it on eBay and have it shipped, or do you really need to go to the swap meet and pick it up? So always write everything down on what you need. The next thing I want to think about too is if I have two items that are really similar, do your research. Look at lots of pictures. The internet is full of pictures on any given item, whether you're talking about valve covers or door hinges. Both of these are big block valve covers and they're both orange, but they both have vastly different little things about them. So do your research, look at a lot of pictures. The other thing, let's say you're buying a door hinge, take a picture of it on the car. So when you're at the swap meet, you can look at a picture in your phone and figure out, do I just need the lower hinge or the upper hinge? And what is the difference between the two and where do they go on the car? All right, the second thing is the logistics of the whole part or parts that you're buying. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're buying something small, maybe you just buy it on eBay or one of the many vendors and just have it shipped. But something like this, you might want to think about what you're taking to transport the part. So is it a 69 Charger trunk lid, or is it the tachometer for that 69 Charger? Think about the vehicle and how you're going to transport this part. Maybe you're buying doors or a hood or a quarter panel. So think about the vehicle that you're going to take to the swap meet. All right, number 3, think about the things you're going to need when you're at the swap meet. Obviously, you're going to have your list, you're going to have your wallet with the money, you're going to have maybe 3 different pockets or your wallet with different denominations of money. You're going to have like some 1s and 5s for small items. You're going to have your 20s and 50s for the big ticket items. And then you're going to have a pocket full of 100s for maybe that holy grail part that you never thought you needed, but you find it and you want it. So that's the money end of it. Think about other things that you might need for like measuring or looking for part numbers or stuff like that. So have a flashlight, it's usually well lit, but there's always going to be a part that's under the vendor's desk, or maybe you have to go into a van or it's not a well lit area. Bring a flashlight. If it's something like, let's say you're measuring for drums or rotors or whatever it might be, an exhaust pipe, bring a small tape measure. This one's a little on the big side, but you get the point on that. Let's see, we all know what a caliper is. So bring one of these too if you think you're going to have to measure a part, down to like the 1/10 of a thousandth of an inch or whatever. Another thing, let's say you're buying some sheet metal and you're worried about how much body work is in it, bring a mill gauge. So you can always measure the paint thickness on a piece of sheet metal, let's say a trunk lid or a fender. That way you're not buying a Bondo bucket when you get it home and find out that it's got a 1/4 inch of Bondo or 10 layers of clear coat over it. So bring a mill gauge. That'll help you decide if the sheet metal is any good. All right, one thing you need to do if you're looking for specific parts with part numbers like original cast manifolds, intake exhaust, or oil pans or whatever, research your part number. So for instance, if you've got a 440, but it's maybe in an A body or a C body or E or B body, you want to know the part number or the stamping on that oil pan. Galen's white books are an excellent source for getting that part number right. So make sure you do your research before, because a lot of times the guy selling the part, he doesn't know any better than you do, and he just wants to sell the part. All right, number 5 on my list of what to do at a swap meet. So you're going to research the part numbers. You're going to figure out what vehicle to take and how to transport the parts that you got. Do your research on what that part is worth and what you might expect to pay. Now, you're going to see price tags on a lot of items, and obviously you're not going to spend $150 on this part right here, but let's say you really want it. Do your research, go to Marketplace, go to eBay, go to Bring a Trailer, go to wherever you have prices on these parts. Look for items that you want and what they have sold for. And on your list of parts, have a list of what you would hope to pay for it and what is your top dollar. So don't insult the guy by offering him peanuts for, a valuable part, but maybe the guy just wants to get rid of it and doesn't want to haul it home. You'll hear that a lot at the swap meet. Make an offer. I don't want to put it back in the truck and haul it home. So make a reasonable offer, but expect to pay, a decent price for it. So do your research on what the thing is worth. All right, I hope these 5 tips will help you get through the swap meet season. Let me know in the comments what you would suggest for someone going to a swap meet. Please subscribe and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.